Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another session from Sangeet Foundation. I am Jayanta Ray, the co-founder of Sangeet Foundation. We believe in happiness through music and the arts. Happiness is a state of mind. Dig a bit deeper, it's about mental health. So this is all about creating awareness about mental health. And today we have a fabulous person who will be with us. And I won't give out the name. You probably would have seen it anyway. But before we get into that, we are actually raising funds for the Oxleas NHS fund and donate generously. I'll just put it up on the screen. So we are raising funds for creating awareness about mental health using music and the arts, and we are partnering with Oxleas on that. So do be with us and do donate generously. So we will be handing this over during the Mental Health Week, which runs from 10th of May to the 16th of May. And we are raising funds till then. And do look out for the subsequent programs. There are fantastic programs coming up, especially during the Mental Health Week. And look forward to having you there. And now I would like to invite our host for the evening, Indrani Bhattacharya. Indrani is a fantastic host. She's the head of programs in Sangeet Foundation, and she has been hosting a lot of the celebrities. So Indrani has a master's in English from Presidency University in Kolkata and is a senior teacher in the UK. So we have a fantastic host, and I'll let her do the rest of the introduction. So here we go. Indrani, here's Indrani for us. Thank you.
So I am Indrani Bhattacharya, and I have yet another celebrity, a brilliant person, a beautiful human being, along with me here today. She is known for singing devotional songs, mainly bhajans, and has released around 40 music albums, including Gayatri Mantra, Krishna and Lakshmi, and Amrit Vani. She has been singing devotional songs since 1995. She has lent her voice to hit songs like Hayya, Mirch Masala, and Julie, I Love You. She has done playback singing for many Bollywood films, and some of the few include Tohfa, Junoon, Phool Bane Patthar, Bhavna, and Angare. Who am I talking about? I am talking about the erstwhile and fabulous Kavita Paudwal. Hey, Vatan.
वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, है वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, है वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ में याद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ में याद रहे तू, है वतन वतन मेरे वतन।
Kavita holds a commerce degree from Narsi Monji College of Commerce and Economics, Mumbai. She completed her master's degrees in interactive media from Tisch School of Arts, New York University. She was trained in Hindustani classical music by Pandit Jialal Vasant and Suresh Wadekar, and of course her parents Arun Podwal and Anuradha Podwal. At the age of 13, she debuted as a playback singer from Mahesh Bhatt's film Junoon. By the time Kavita was 16, she had composed music for two films. Kavita has also given her voice to various film composers like A.R. Rahman, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, Anu Malik, Pappi Lahiri. She has done playback singing for actresses like Kajol, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Sonali Bendre, and Pooja Bhatt. She has launched over 40 devotional music CDs with C Series, and she sang with stalwarts like Hariharan, Sonu Nigam, Javed Ali, and Shan. It is an absolute honor and privilege to have Kavita ji with us today. Please welcome Kavita Paudwal.
Hello, Anuradha
Hi,
ji.
Kavita ji. Oh my God, it is
Namaste.
such a privilege, honestly. Honestly, I mean, we
Thank
have
you.
been
Thank you
trying
for
this.
having me on the show.
Thank you so much. I mean, we have been trying this for such a long time, and fingers crossed, hopefully. And it's such an honor and a privilege to have you with us. I know you are so busy. I mean, I cannot thank you enough for just taking this time out. Kavita
No.
ji, my first question to you really is, your family and everything, you literally, music is what you almost breathe every day, if I'm right in using that term. So my question to you is, what does music actually mean to you?
Um, like you rightly pointed out, it was, in my growing years, yes, we would literally breathe music because there was music all around. Both my parents were musicians, and my father was a music composer. So a lot of music used to be composed at home. They would have sittings, and we'd have all the who's who of the movie industry. Of course, the music who's who. They would come for sittings, and songs would be composed. It was a different time. It was not probably the way songs are composed now, but it was lovely. And I can still remember Anuradha ji's voice at about 5 o'clock every morning. So she would do as first thing in the morning, and I would, if I close my eyes and if I kind of go back, I can hear her singing the Bhagavad Gita because that's what she sang. And yes, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a lovely childhood. But as much as we lived and breathed music, it was a a very regular childhood in the sense, for us, the way Baki parents, some of them were doctors, some of them were bankers. Where say our parents were musicians, and they would go to work every day and come back. So there was no glamour attached to it. And a lot of credit goes to my parents and my grandparents because we were a joint family. And I grew up like any other kid. I probably was consciously kept away from the aura. And of course, music back then, and people associated with music in the 80s and 90s and all. But really, it was just being good at what they do. It was 30% of glamour and 70% of what they did because they loved to do it, and something that they were really really good at. So yes, that's what childhood was. And yes, we did breathe music, uh, but I also, I was encouraged to do very well in my school, and I excelled as an academic. I did very well, and for the longest time I wanted to be a doctor. But I kind of chickened out because I didn't like chemistry, and I don't know why I did that. It's just one of those things, and that's that. But before I knew, I was singing. I was called to do a small dubbing part for Pooja Bhatt for the film Junoon when Nadeem Shravan were recording the song, and I was just 13, and I'd go to the studio to meet Anuradha ji. And I was there because my school was next to the studio. So there were times that I would go and say hello to her and then go back home. And I remember Shravan, he was recording and he was like, uh, "Tum gaati ho?" I said, "Yes, हाँ जी मैं गाती हूँ." Suresh Vankar. So my parents made sure that we learned classical music from very early on. In fact, they were very particular that it has to happen in a school. जैसे गाड़ी अपनी गाड़ी पे नहीं सीखी जाती. You always go to a driving school. वैसे they made
Right.
sure that we had proper training, and the training, of course, जो संस्कार हुए वो तो घर पर हुए, but the training happened with Jayalaji Vasan and then Suresh. So Shravanji knew that I used to learn from him, and he said, "तुम गाओगी?" मैंने कहा, "हाँ, गाऊंगी." How serious would you get at 13? I said, "हाँ जी, मैं गाऊंगी." And that's that. I did the song. I didn't know it was for a movie. I didn't know it was for Pooja Bhatt or whoever. And that's it. It happened. And I went home and I forgot about it. And in a couple of days, they released the song. They kept the vocals and they released the song. And then there was no looking back because things just kept happening one after the other. And I released an album called Hayya, which was indie pop genre at that time, and it was very well received. And then I tried my hand at other genres, and at that point, fortunately, there was nothing like you are a pop artist or you're a ghazal artist or you're a this artist. You're a good singer
You were
and
an
you please,
artist.
yeah, you
Yeah.
sing whatever you, and that's also the beauty of doing film music, is because you can do any genre. It's only now that you tend to get stereotyped or typecast a particular kind of song. So, oh well, that's that. I don't want to sound like a dinosaur. It's good. It's good.
Nay, I mean, I'm sure, it must have been such an inspiring childhood as well. Of course, you say that, you had, like any of us probably had, the childhood where parents go to work. But your parents, I mean, they were stalwarts, and Anuradha ji and your dad, Arun ji,
Arun ji, ji.
yeah, they are, I mean, they have always been who people look up to. Were you aware of that? What I'm trying to find out really is that,
No,
the
no, that's what
the
I meant, is that of course they were stalwarts even then, and now they're very senior, as in dad is normal, but Anuradha ji is legend. But we were never made to feel that they were
right.
stalwarts. So that was, but I'm pretty sure that unconsciously it played on the mind. That's how you learn as a child, without knowing. You have inherited and you have grasped so many things, and then you start applying them as you grow up.
I know, because those are like huge shoes to fill in. I would be scared. I would be scared. I mean, that's
You
like,
would be
you
scared
know,
if you knew what you are getting into when you don't know what you're getting into. You're like, yeah, okay.
that is also true. When you don't know, you just go in with the flow. So my
Yeah,
mom is
absolutely.
Anuradha Podwal, and the next mom also must be a Padma Shri, who is another Anuradha Podwal. So
No,
it
no,
must be
no,
just
no,
the
no.
two.
So for my friends, she was Anuradha auntie, and it's,
Uh,
it was wonderful. I mean, now that I think about it, the very fact that we were never made to, we were never overawed by all of it, is because the credit goes to them. Huh? They could have made a very
absolutely,
big deal out of
absolutely.
it. They didn't.
True. I mean, I think that I would safely say, Kavita ji, that actually portrays in the way you do your interviews, your songs. It just shows that, coming from that kind of a lineage, nothing you have made a mark for yourself. You have drawn a world for yourself, and of course, you have taken the blessings. You have taken their all that they have taught you, and carried it so beautifully forward. I think it's
Thank
time
you.
for our viewers now, because if I talk too much, they're going to come to me to listen to one of your songs. And I would love for them to, listen. And I'm sure they've all heard it, but let's go on and listen to one of the songs.
Sure. So I'd like to start with a beautiful song that we recorded last year. It's a Marathi song, but
Mhm.
I would urge you to play it because मेरे साथ जिन्होंने गाया है, he is a very very big name. He's a lovely person. He's a brilliant singer. Pankaj Udas ji. He's millions of fans all over. This is the first time he has sung in Marathi. So,
Oh, wow.
yes, and it's lovely because when you listen to it, you don't think that it's not a Hindi song. It's a
जी.
beautiful song. तो गाने का नाम है, the title is रंग धनुचा झूला. तो रंग धनु मतलब rainbow, and झूला
अच्छा.
in Marathi is a swing. So
Yeah.
Rang Dhanu Ka Jhula, literally speaking. And
Oh,
yes, it's the first time that Pankaj ji actually sang in Marathi. So it would be lovely if you could play that for me.
absolutely. We will play that. And of course, it's a beautiful song. I've heard it already. So, yes, here we go.
La 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 la. झरझर झरझर रिमझिम म्हणणारा पाऊस होशील ना, थरथरणाऱ्या पानांवरती चाहूल देशील ना.
तुझ्याच म्हणते मी बांधला ग रंग धनुचा झुला.
मातीतला गंध श्वासात माझ्या हलकेच भरशील ना.
झरझर झरझर रिमझिमणारा पाऊस होशील ना. कितीदा जुन्या प्रेमपत्रात शोधू तुझा चेहरा लाजणारा.
तुला पाहिले हरवून गेले, विसरून गेले स्वतःला.
शब्दाविना सारे कळले इशारे, नवारत यावा सुखाला.
झरझर झरझर रिमझिमणारा पाऊस होशील ना. मनाचे मनाशी धागे जुळावे, विणू रेशमी बंध.
आपल्या कहाणीत वळणावरी एक शोधू हवासा विसावा.
गंधाळणारा नादावणारा ऋतू सोबतीला हसावा.
झरझर झरझर रिमझिमणारा पाऊस होशील ना.
थरथरणाऱ्या पानांवरती चाहूल देशील ना.
Okay, so I mean that was such a beautiful number, and to have Pankaj ji also sing along with you, it must have been an experience for you as well, Kavita ji, to have Pankaj ji sing that song for the first time in Marathi. I mean, he must trust you enough to be able to do that with you for the first time, being the stalwart that he is himself.
Absolutely. He was extremely gracious. In fact, when we suggested the idea to him, I didn't say I wanted him to sing, but I said, uh, he's my mother's colleague and contemporary. So I call him Pankaj uncle के ये गाना है तो आप मैं चाहती हूँ आप इसे सुने and आप मुझे बताइए what you feel. तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ बेटा जरूर भेज दो and I just sent it to him and then he heard it and he said बहुत ही अच्छा है. तो मैंने कहा आपका आशीर्वाद चाहिए and we would want you to be a part of the song and he was like, that's brilliant, I've never sung in Marathi, I wonder why, but मैंने कभी गाया ही नहीं है. And incidentally इस गाने को compose करने वाले अशोक पत्की, he's a very senior composer. He's done a lot of ads that we must have done in the 80s and the 90s, but he's also done very good Marathi songs. He's done a lot of theatre. And incidentally, he had done Pankaj ji's first album 40 years ago.
Oh.
So
Wow.
Pankaj ji was over the moon. He was like, "ये तो अशोक का गाना है. ये तो इसको तो मैं जरूर गाऊंगा." And he just came and he sang, and that's that. You know, that's the beauty of all of these legendary musicians, is that they don't make a big deal out of anything.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yes.
like you rightly pointed out, I think somewhere there is that level of comfort when you know you're with a set of people who respect your values, and who respect your love for music, and you know, share the same sensibilities. Then they know that the person is not going to misuse.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Beautiful. I mean, that these are things, you will take away with you forever. And this is something that's going
yeah,
to stay with you.
absolutely.
I
Ji.
read in one of your, interviews, Kavita ji, that when you were 15 months old, you actually started, I wouldn't say started your career, but then that's when you did the first sa and your mother said, okay, she's on track. I think she can do it. Is that
I
correct?
don't
Am
know.
I
My
correct?
mom, my mother would vouch for that. But yeah, she keeps telling me there was a particular song that. So I told you, Arunji was a composer, and you know, the sittings hote. The sittings, matlab basically when the song was composed, you know, there would be one or two musicians who would come home and they would have like a live session just to see how it sounds. और फिर उसको थोड़ा
जी,
सा tweak किया जाता था. So since Ma was, you know, she was at home and she would sing, so obviously she was the, you know, she would sing the song, and ऐसे ही कोई गाना वो लोग गा रहे होंगे, and after that, at some point, I think कोई था, so the song was da 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 da, the song, and apparently she sang all of it, and when she came to the end, da 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 da, it seems I said da.
oh.
So yeah, a small part of the puzzle. So she said, "Okay, this is good. This is good."
Ah, bless. I mean, I'm sure you don't remember it, but it must be
I
such a
don't.
such it must be such an important thing for Anuradha ji to see, you okay, you are on that track. I mean, I'm
On that
sure,
track.
because
But
you've done your
you know what?
masters.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you, but
No, no,
I
no, go.
believe this. I really, really believe this because my brother Aditya, you know, who was 10 years younger than me, started playing the tabla when he was uh, 2.5. And when I mean playing the tabla, he would accompany my father in sittings.
Wow.
It was not,
Wow.
you know, it was not
Just
just,
playing like that.
no,
Correct.
no. He would accompany my father, and my father was an extremely strict composer. You know, he would not appreciate any kind of, as in, when it came to music, no, it had to be there. You know, even the bacha hai to kya
Perfection
hua?
has
Agar
to be there. Correct.
absolutely. So he said, अगर नहीं बजा सकते तो मत बजाओ, you know, don't do that, and he would play. So I really believe that you know, जो संस्कार आप पे बचपन में पढ़ते हैं, या जो सुर आपके बचपन में सुर हो, या you see something, yeah, you see someone painting, or you see someone dancing, or you hear something, they just make a fabulous imprint on your mind, and you carry it along with you.
True. In Sangeet Foundation, one of the main things that I also told you before was that how we've always believed, and of course, it's scientifically proven. We work with universities, and with the National Health Service over here, who keep on harping, that mental health and art, any kind of art, it helps. They are like they can be correlated and they can help each other. And any form of, whether it's music, it's the arts, anything that you do, if you are able to take yourself out of that and find yourself involved in any of this,
Yeah.
it should help to heal. And why music goes such a long way. So, just taking what your father says, why it is important to be good at it and try your hands when you are ready.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yes,
beautiful,
I also
absolutely.
feel there is a, you know, I think it's very logical because any perfected art is the right, is, you know, perfect calibration. And when you are exposed to that perfect calibration, आपका जो calibration गड़बड़ा गया है, वो भी कहीं पे it tries and matches, you know.
Oh, beautifully said.
So, yeah, but
Absolutely.
I mean, it's logical. It's absolutely logical. Why, when you are in the company of perfection, you would heal by yourself? I mean, perfect, even anything close to that.
Gee, जी, बिल्कुल।
Yeah.
I mean, that's so beautifully said. Like, absolutely. When you can, if you can go and fall into the same rhythm with whichever art form that is, you will heal. Absolutely, you will heal. I think right now it is time for our next song, Kavita ji, because people are waiting, and
Sure.
we will. So, what's the next song you're going to do for us then?
So the next song I want to do is Ye Hasi Wadiyan from the
Oh,
movie Roja, and it's very special to me because all of Rahman's songs. So I did sing a few songs for Mr. A.R. Rahman, and my brother was very fond of Rahman's music, and all the music that we heard together. So this was one of the songs that he really loved as well. So it's Ye Hasi Wadiyan.
so it has a lot of memories for you. I mean, it's a
Yes, it
beautiful
does.
song anyway, and it certainly has a lot of memories. So
Ji.
let's listen to this song.
Sure.
ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां आ गए हम कहाँ है मेरे सजना इन बहारों में दिल की कली खिल गई मुझको तुम जो मिले हर खुशी मिल गई तेरे होठों पे है हुस्न की बिजलियाँ तेरे गालों पे है जुल्फ की बदलियाँ तेरे बालों की खुशबू से महके चमन संगे मरमर के जैसा ये तेरा बदन मेरी जाने जा मैं तेरी चांदनी छेड़ दो तुम आज कोई प्यार की रागिनी ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां आ गए हम कहाँ है मेरे सजना ये बंधन है प्यार का देखो टूटे न सजनी ये जन्मों का साथ है देखो छूटे न सजना तेरी आंचल के छाँव के तले मेरी मंजिल मुझे मिल गई तेरे पलकों के छाँव के तले मोहब्बत मुझे मिल गई ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां आ गए हम कहाँ है मेरे सजना इन बहारों में दिल की कली खिल गई मुझको तुम जो मिले हर खुशी मिल गई तेरे होठों पे है हुस्न की बिजलियाँ तेरे गालों पे है जुल्फ की बदलियाँ तेरे बालों की खुशबू से महके चमन संगे मरमर के जैसा ये तेरा बदन मेरी जाने जा मैं तेरी चांदनी छेड़ दो तुम आज कोई प्यार की रागिनी ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां आ गए हम कहाँ है मेरे सजना ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां आ गए हम कहाँ है मेरे सजना
Okay, so of course, I mean, one of the best songs I think A.R. Rahman also he got gained a lot of popularity, of course, with this, and there was no stopping him. And how beautifully was this done as well. Thank you so much for this,
Sweet.
Kavita
Thank
ji. Uh, so, Kavita ji, the other thing, you have sung so many songs, you have created so many albums, and by God's grace, you had the opportunity of being with loads of stalwarts, of our times, the 80s and 90s. And is there any memory that you have with anybody, like an anecdote or something that you can share that had a lasting impact on you, growing up in their shadow, if I might use the word, or, growing up learning from them?
uh, See, again, I just keep coming back to the same thing is एक चीज होती है having a memory because it has it stayed with you in a good way. एक होता है एक memory because you were caught
You
off
don't want
guard
it
or
to
you
happen
you,
again.
you were scared you don't yeah. But honestly, the only memory, so like I told you with Pankaj ji, just the ease with which he said कि हाँ करते हैं, or whether it was my parents or all the other artists, they have, because I was I was a baby and I would just go everywhere with my parents, and I don't remember any phrase attached
That's
to
good.
any of the people. So there wasn't any memory per se. I remember going with Radha ji to Mehboob Studios, which was a very well-known recording studio, जहाँ पे बहुत recordings होते थे, and mom used to carry a dabba, and I would go, and then we would sit there and we would just listen to so many songs being recorded. And जब घर आते थे तो that's that. मतलब it wasn't a big deal. But बाद में जब उसकी record निकलती थी तो तभी LPs होते थे. And just
जी,
like,
जी.
oh my God, I heard that song being made. But then again, that was that. Yeah, so I heard it was lovely, and that's it. But one memory that I have, if at all, is uh, so we have a very big Navratri at home. It's a
जी.
100-year-old tradition. Ours is a sixth generation.
Wow.
And 10 दिनों के लिए the entire family gets together. We have an aarti every evening. And those days, Papa used to sit harmonium बजाते थे, and all of us used to sing. हम लोग छोटे छोटे बच्चे थे, and we used to be fooling around because cousins होते थे, and it was like a party. And obviously we overdid at one point, which is why my father called me aside and he said, Shona, he used to call me Shona, okay, and he used to say, Shona, uh, I want to tell you something. I said, देखो, कोई और मजाक करे म्यूजिक के साथ तो बात अलग है, तुम करो तो अलग है, तुमको नहीं करना चाहिए. Okay, and of course wasn't as kind, but he was like, no. He said no. He said absolute no. He said, listen, you've been blessed with genes from both the sides, and you can never afford to make a mockery out of music. Okay, so if never do this again. So, but that stayed with me, and that stayed with me. That stayed with my brother, and to date, it is just not possible for us to make a mockery out of the art, you know. So that is
I
something
think
that
that,
has, when I mean mockery, I don't mean कोई नहीं करता, कोई उसको जान के उसको मॉकरी नहीं करता, बट छिछोरापन पहली बार जब किया तो ऐसी डांट पड़ी कि उसके बाद करने की कभी हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई, so that's how it is. But
but I think
I'm
that's
glad
also
it's
from
that
the
way.
respect, and a
Yeah,
respect for that art,
yeah, yeah.
that you can't do it. It's like
You
almost,
can't do it.
taking the place of your parents. It's like if you were to replace your
You
parents,
can't.
you would replace
Yes.
it with your art. You can't.
Yes.
Oh wow. Uh, so in today's generation, especially in this 2021, that we are sitting here today, of this virtual thing that we've got into is so different from what even we are both from the
Absolutely.
same generation, all and we have always been to concerts, and it has a different aura altogether. You
Impact.
can't take that
Yes,
away. You
absolutely.
can't just take
Absolutely.
that away. However
No,
you try to
no.
do it, you can't take that away. uh, in today's, especially with COVID, such a lot has changed. Do you think this, the digital world that we are in, and not even the digital world, this idea of people should start believing in spirituality and melody and try to get that together, because we have lost so much. We've lost such a lot. The smallest of things now is not as easy, even though we believe we are in the digital world. I can book something on Amazon, I can book, yet that happiness that you would get from holding something, from buying something. And I think we are really moving away from, I don't know, from spirituality, from that, from the reality of living in a day-to-day life.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think now more than ever we are coming closer to reality. We are coming closer to what it should be like.
Okay.
Why even children, even adults are not able to differentiate between a simulation and a reality. It's
True.
only now, when you're made to sit in your house for a year and you have to deal with yourself. That's the time you realize that ये सब जो देख
Agree.
रहे हैं नहीं, it's out there. What is real
Yes.
is here, and you better learn to deal with it. And I feel this is, this was probably meant to happen because people were so far away, getting so far away from themselves or from what is real and what is tactile and that experience uh, is that ये तो बहुत जरूरी था. Of course the casualty is huge and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but fact of the matter is I think in the last year more than ever we have managed to inch a little closer to the way things were, and I don't
Yes.
see anything wrong with that. I am absolutely not against any kind of technology. No, no, it's brilliant, but it's high time we realize that it cannot substitute life. you
True.
know
True.
so I feel that it's done a lot of good, along with, of course, बहुत अच्छा होता है, बहुत खराब होता है, उसके बहुत अच्छा होता है. So yes, it has taken a huge toll, still is, but I feel it has done a lot of good in terms of, and when you say spirituality, I think to me spirituality is just about getting back to your basics and understanding what is real and understanding what matters. And I think this year more than ever has, sent the message
I
right
would say
across.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So anything that is positive, anything that can heal, and anything that is beautiful, I think, which gets you closer to God is spirituality. I think COVID has finally driven the point home as to what is important and what is real. Okay, yes,
True.
people have lost their capacity to do a lot of things, but then I think all of it was क्या कहते हैं, वो जैसे बलून में हवा भरते हैं ना, it was a bubble anyways. I mean, we lived before that, and we are going to live without
We
it.
lived in a bubble.
It's just that when you get, absolutely, I really feel that it has helped people come closer to what is important and what is sustainable. You know, सिर्फ
True.
वही चीजें निकल गई हैं जो सस्टेनेबल नहीं है, बाकी सब तो है. I was talking to some children because I work with children and spirituality. And we just kept talking. I said, "Do you notice in the first 6 months of the lockdown? I don't know how things were like in UK, but in India, we used to have peacocks in the streets, and there were animals on the street, and you could see the Himalayas from Punjab. After
Wow.
some 30-35 years, there were dolphins in the city of, off the city of Mumbai. And we just kept saying, "Okay, if nature is so happy, what are we cribbing about? Obviously, if it was that wrong, if it were that horrible, you know, nature wouldn't have healed. And if nature is healed, shouldn't we try to see that, there's a possibility even for people to heal? And, this is a time when you can actually talk about things which are real and not faff. You make an effort to get off the phone and have a real conversation with each other, outside of, okay, what happened in school, outside of what do you want to eat, outside of do you need any clothes. There's other things like, okay, I use, why are you scared of the dark and what can we do about it? And yes, I used to be scared of the dark when I was a child. So, things like that. So I think COVID has done what it's supposed to do. So
Yeah, exactly.
there have been damages, but you know, it has told people and it has told human beings that nope, there's only that much you can do, and you need to back off.
Yeah, nature has proved, that they are the boss. I am the boss, and you need to accept that. You
Absolutely.
can't. Beautiful. I mean, that is so true. And, when you say it like that, it makes so much more sense as well that, yes, we have been brought back to reality and we have been brought back to believing that, we need to get back to basics and we need to talk to people. We need to get off that high horse, maybe, and get a check.
Absolutely. There was another very nice thing that Anuradha ji said to someone in an interview. That's something that stayed with me. She said, आज हम अपने ही घर में बैठने के लिए हमें इतनी तकलीफ होती है. This is the house that we have toiled for our entire life. This is the house that is your dream house. This is what you have wanted to buy. You worked for this. आज तुम्हें उसी घर में बैठने को तकलीफ क्यों हो रही है? And it's true. I mean, think about it. This is something that we have all worked for. This is something that every young child works for, to have, a beautiful house, to have a family, to have whatever. And आज तुमको जब वो सारा enjoy करने का मौका मिल रहा है, तो you really need to think about why it is so difficult. So yeah, I think we need to
Beautiful.
look at the situation in that way. Yeah.
Just while I'm doing this interview also, it makes so much more sense. And thank you so much. I mean, if you can take this forward to even Anuradha ji and from on behalf of us, these are things, no one tells you. And when someone tells you, it hits home that I wish I had
You're
thought
like,
about it.
yeah, that's true. Why didn't I think of it before? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I wish I had thought about it. That so definitely, I mean, all respect always to her, definitely. But as you said, it's time that we touch base and go back to what is real. And also it's time for us to listen to your next song as well, Kavita ji. And so what are you going to sing for us now?
I have always enjoyed listening to Asha ji's and singing Asha ji's songs. So this is another Opina your gem.
Yeah.
Maang ke saath tumhara. Let's
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Right. Let's listen to the number.
मांग के साथ तुम्हारा मैंने मांग लिया संसार मांग के साथ तुम्हारा मैंने मांग लिया संसार मांग के साथ तुम्हारा
Okay, so I mean, again, another gem, as you said, and what a beautiful rendition of that. Thank you so, so much for, for doing this for us. Uh, Coming back to the digital world that we were talking about, Kavita ji, do you think over the years, you were saying that from 5 in the morning, your mom, she used to start her, Gayatri mantra, and she used to sing, and the riyaz is been such an important part. I remember, I am so far removed from songs, but for the little years that I did learn singing, that was my mother used to say, if you don't do riyaz, riyaz nahi hota, to you can never become anywhere, you can't sing. But today's world, with digital things, my daughter, she has the piano and the synthesizer, which does such a lot for her. And I don't know if I can, implant in her the importance of doing that herself. Do you think that world has changed now, since when you were doing it and now maybe your daughter or, the next generation doing it?
Well, you can't discount that things have become very convenient, and I would say use it to your advantage. But I still feel that आपके basic faculties अगर strong नहीं हैं, तो how will you even use these to your advantage? So that's all you can. I'm not too much of a mother who advises. I'm like, yeah, fine, just do what you need to do. Learn the hard way. Learn the hard way. So that's
Yeah,
that.
I
But
will. I
yeah, I
agree.
mean, so my son tells me that why do you want me to do tables and the calculator? I said, हाँ, but तुम्हारा दिमाग कब लगाओगे? वो तो सो जाएगा. तुम तो इस्तेमाल ही नहीं करते उसको. Everything is a calculator. So like for the last entire year they've been online, and I'm like, write, please, write. This is a skill that you can't afford to forget. So please write. Because even हम लोगों के इसमें कहते हैं कि if you want to achieve something and you want to visualize, and if you write it, you're actually it is being written down somewhere, it's being noted somewhere in the universe. So you write it. That was how it was taught to us. And
Ji.
I believe that, and I keep telling them, तुमको जो करना है तुम लिखो, write it, and it'll happen. And so now these guys are completely bereft of writing, but I think it's just a question of time. Once things come back to normal, they'll be okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I agree. I think our upbringing was slightly different to theirs. Of course, my son and daughter will say, "Oh my God, you belong to the Stone Age," so we are we are removed from that. But yes,
Hey,
I
but we're
still go on.
alive.
But writing, as you said, writing or doing riyaz is so important, as if you don't have your basics right. And that's what I find very different in today's, generation, that respect I felt, or that, even not, we had done a show with Anup Jalota ji, and Anup ji, said to me one of those things, that after he got the Padma Shri, he called up his mom and he told her that, Mama, like my father, I've also got the Padma Shri. And I think he said, and Rani, that's when she said to me, Acha beta, abhi theek se gana shuru karo. In the sense that now you have been. So for her, it was still that important that you need to, continue. And he says, I
It
do
was just
riyas.
one, yeah, it was just one of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, you're one of the many things. I do riyas. He still does riyas for like 10 to 12 hours every day. And how important it is. So, all these stalwarts, and I hope this generation also understands that the basics are so important, and get on with it and do the best that. But who in this present generation, Kavita ji, inspires you? You have been with the stalwarts like A.R. Rahman and all, but who is this in this present generation, do you think would, is doing just the way you would have wanted it to happen?
Maybe not the way I would have wanted to happen, but I think I like Arijit Singh's style of singing.
Sure.
I like the way he has his fundamentals are very much in place. His heart is in the right place, his throat is in the right place, because I've heard him sing unplugged, Punjabi music, rural music, and ooh, he's something else, something else. I mean, what he sings in movies is not even like a speck of what he's
Really?
capable of. Yeah, some of the works that he's done are absolutely brilliant. And I think
Wow.
everybody is doing very well. See, I really genuinely think that right now it is not only about how good you are, how good a musician you are, या आपकी knowledge कितनी है, या how technically perfect you are. It is also about being able to survive in the in the rat race, right?
True,
That takes a
true.
lot of guts. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of hard work. So I would say anybody who has survived and who is capable of sustaining it, hats off to them.
That is true. I mean, in today's world, it's a rat race for everything in any industry. And
Absolutely.
so, if we come back little, even toward almost towards the end of this interview, the few things that I wanted to ask you, is with music. It's we all have faced situations that are really undesirable and painful, and I know, and the world also is aware that when you lost your brother Aditya Podwal, that was a huge talent that was you know a huge talent that was taken away from the world, from the industry, absolutely. And um, it's not easy, but then there has to be a healing process. Did you ever feel that music came to your help, or it helped you in going through that at all?
Uh, Did music help heal that loss? No, I don't think it's a loss that can be healed by anything. Maybe
True.
only time, but it's because but I also feel that there are a lot of life lessons that we got because it's happened during the year, and when you see so many people who are so close to you, suddenly they're just not there. And it's another way of life telling you that you need to make the most out of what you have and make the most of the time that you have with people you love. As far as Aditya's memories go, I think he's there every time his music is played. And I don't say this, as something that I read out of a book. I genuinely believe that. See, at the end of the day, what are you? You are what you do. Beyond that, what are you?
True.
You may leave the room, and then nobody would even know that you were there. But if you left something, if you left a
Behind.
piece of art in the room, or if you left a nice cake for someone in the room, they would say, "Arey, yaar, dekho, ye wo chhod ke gaya." That's how you're remembered. So I feel that every time his music is played, every time the kind of music that he enjoys is played, it's that he's there. That's it. And my mother and I have actually my mother I've just helped. I'm just supporting it, but it's essentially her another another way of it showed me how great she is as an artist. Is she said that I want, so every musician who probably went through what Aditya went through, because he was a musician of a very high caliber, and when you're not able to have people appreciate that just because they are used to mediocrity, it's not a very good feeling. And a lot of musicians his age, and he was a composer, and he did a lot of arrangements. Many a times what happens is जो पर्दे के सामने होता है, he gets a lot of credit, and all these people who spend
Gee.
hours and hours and days and months doing it, people don't even know what their contribution is. So Anuradha ji has started a website called Aditya's Music Unveiled, where of course we have posted a lot of his work, a lot of wonderful work that he's done. He's done symphonies, he's worked with the Hungarian Symphony. Um, we posted all of that, but we are also making it a platform for budding musicians, but musicians as in musicians who are behind the scene,
Behind the scenes.
like yes, so music producers or instrumentalists, from the field of Bollywood, because
Okay.
people don't know what goes into the making of a song. It's only the music director and the singer who are in the public eye. People don't know the amount of work that goes into actually putting that song together. And
True.
we have invited a lot of artists to speak and guide people who may want to take this up as a career in their future. So it would be wonderful if your audience could also visit the website. It's called
Actually, I was just
Aditya's Music Unveiled. .com.
I was just going to tell you,
Yeah.
if you will send the link to me, I'm going to add it over here so that, it's something that we can certainly, get people, the more people know about it, the more they have
Absolutely.
access
Please do
to it.
that, because there will be a lot of very, very senior musicians who are going to be talking about how they make music, or, a lot of technical things, in the tools. What are the tools they use? How do they use them? Where should they be used? And it's a beautiful amalgamation of the technique and the art. So it's a great place for people to learn. Yeah, people who want to learn, people who want to study music production, they should definitely visit it.
Is there any song, is there any song that comes to you where, that you would like even to dedicate to that art that he is, because I'm sure you've got a lot of memories with him growing up together, maybe even a small, an antra or a mukra that you all did together. That's something that, stands out for you. Is there anything?
Sure, absolutely. So, like I told you, both of us were big fans of A.R. Rahman and all South Indian music for that matter. We heard a lot of Tamil and Telugu music together, and but so he was a big fan of Rahman's style of arrangements. So, in fact, we did kind of an unplugged concert for IFA in the month of July, and we recorded something for it. It was from the film Tal. It was from the film. What's the Tal Se Tal Mila? Tal is the name of the film, right? Yeah, Tal Se
Yeah,
Tal
yeah.
Mila. So I will sing that for you. But we also recorded small unplugged version together of एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, this song, I mean, it got some 2.5 million views, whatever. I mean, it was, of course, after he passed away. But I was like, it is such an irony, who had even thought that, it's going to be played for these reasons. But absolutely no regrets. And like I said, every time his music plays, he's right there.
sure he is there, and he's always going to be there amongst everyone, and that is the important thing that we all need to take away. It's you don't lose people, you just find them in another shape and form. They were always there, the ones you love. True. Just while we are on our last bit of this, there's of course that last song that I wanted to hear from you as well, and I know we are going to do it. But with this world that's changing, and is that something that you would like to tell? What would be your advice to the people around? Because I have felt being in the UK, it's a different ball game. When you're in the UK or where you're in India, but the struggles are still the same. In its own shape and form, the struggles are still the same, and somewhere we are losing the idea of patience, we are losing the idea of tolerance towards each other, towards music, towards everything that is there around us. There's so much solace we can get from music or from arts or anything. What would your advice be? If this is the last question to you, what would your advice be to the people around?
I wouldn't want to advise anybody, but I would say, you know, so the last year has taught us what is important. The last year has taught us that, eventually you need to come back. I mean, you can fly as high as you want. There's nothing wrong with that. It's wonderful. Use all the technology that is there and more. There's more to come. Use all of that, but you can't lose touch with who you are and, what basically matters. If you're lucky enough to have a family, spend time with them. If you're lucky enough to have a home, spend time in your home. If you're lucky enough to do things that make you happy, do them. Don't postpone them. And there is a lot of happiness in things that don't need spending money. Uh, we need to start savoring them, and I think it'll happen because it's like that's the reason that it's called Mother Nature, right? Mother kind of shacks you at one point and then you don't do it again. That's a Mother Nature has done her bit, and I'm pretty sure that people will understand that there's only so much that there's only so many privileges that they can have, and they need to get back to what is real and what is important. That's it. And yes, of course, listen to a lot of music. I mean, it's the most wonderful thing you can do to yourself and do for yourself, and it doesn't cost anything. Just listen to a lot of music. Listen to music that makes you happy. Listen to music that everybody else likes to listen to. Yeah. Good music. Yeah. Yeah.
Good music, yeah. That's the important thing. Good music. I mean, yeah. But again, good is it's such a it's such a term that
no, it's not.
subjective.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
It's
It's
not.
not. It's not subjective. What is good is good. What is not good is not good. Everyone knows that deep inside. Okay? You just need to listen to yourself. It is not. There are some things that we conveniently think they're subjective. They're not.
Yeah.
What is good is fine. What doesn't.
And because on that note, we are going to finish off with one of the favorites that I heard, and I told you before, is it's not only good, it's a superb rendition of that song. So if you just want to tell us about the song that I am talking to you about, Moh Moh Ke Dhage.
Sure. So Mohammed Ke Dhage, yes, it's a beautiful song, and it caught my attention just like everyone else's. And that was a time when people were trying their hand at covers and things like that. And yeah, so we did this, and it worked really well. People loved it. There were people who were kind enough to say that this is even better than whatever the original. I said it doesn't matter. It was great. It sounded nice. I'm happy. People liked it. So I'll sing a couple of lines, and then maybe you can play the video for me.
Please, yeah.
ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे, कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिर हाय सुलझे, है रोम रोम एक तारा, है रोम रोम एक तारा, जो बादलों में से गुजरे, ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे, कोई टोह टोह ना लागे,
किस तरह गिरहाए सुलझे।
मोह मोह के धागे, मोह मोह के धागे, ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे। ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे। कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिरहाए सुलझे। है रोम रोम एक तारा, है रोम रोम एक तारा जो बादलों में से गुजरे। ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे। कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिरहाए सुलझे। तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना। तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना। कैसे तूने अनकहा, तूने अनकहा सब सुना। तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना। तू दिन सा है मेरा तो आना, दोनों मिल जाए शामों की तरह। ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे। कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिरहाए सुलझे। ये तेरी झूठी बातें मैं सारी मान लूं। ये तेरी झूठी बातें मैं सारी मान लूं। आँखों से तेरे सच सभी सब कुछ अभी जान लूं। ये तेरी झूठी बातें मैं सारी मान लूं। तेज है धारा बहते से हम आवारा, हाथ थम के सांसें लिया। ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे। कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह बिरहा ये सुलझे।
beautiful. I mean, what can I say? It's one of my favorite songs forever, and the way you've done that
It's a
take on
lovely
it.
song.
Uh,
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
with that, of course, we come to the end of this interview with you, Kavita ji. I I mean, I have told you this before that I am such a huge fan of your whole family's, the contribution to the music industry, and then, of course, you are one of the most. I don't know how to put it, but then it's like it's been such a pleasure knowing you. I have had the opportunity, through Sangeet Foundation to do a lot of interviews with celebrities and all, but some people just touch your heart. They just touch the right chords, and you are certainly one of them. So thank you so, so much on behalf of Sangeet Foundation and, everybody in the UK. I'm sure
Thank you
they're going
very
to
much.
love
It's very
this.
generous of you, and
Yes.
thank
And
you. And hats off to Sangeet Foundation and the kind of work that you're doing, because it's the very fact that you are, doing something to make other people feel good. It's commendable. So thank you. Thank
yes,
you for making me a
absolutely. No,
part of
it's
this. Yeah.
we are not even going to you have become an important part, and you will be a permanent part of us. So thank you so, so much for spending this time with us. I know you are so busy, but on behalf of all of us, thank you once again. It's been such an honor and pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Namaste.